So good day. Today I'll be discussing the theories first in the CH8368 separation process, and I am Ron Christopher Biwang. So the first problem, to determine the minimum ratio of extraction solvent to feed solvent, one has to know A, the distribution coefficient, B, only the concentration of solute in the feed solvent, C, the only concentration of solute in the extraction solvent, D, number of stages in the system. So, the distribution coefficient is the concentration of solute in the organic solvent over by the concentration of solute in the aqueous phase. So, the answer would be A, the distribution coefficient. 2. In a liquid-liquid extraction process, extraction solvent has no selectivity with the ratio of two components in the extraction solvent phase to that in the feed solvent phase is, of course, it should be 1. Since the ratio of the desired to undesired products in moles created in the reaction is called selectivity. So there will be no separation if the selectivity is 1. So D will be our answer. Number 3. In an extraction process, the greater the weight of the solute in the raffinate relative to that in the extract, the more is the distribution coefficient. So why did we answer the more is or C? It's because if you have greater amount of solute in the raffinate, it indicates that it has more distribution coefficient since we are dealing with the solute in the raffinate and extract. So the two should be balanced in order to have balanced coefficient. Next, the unit operation by which soluble components of liquid mixture are dissolved in a liquid that is partially immiscible with the other components is A, solvent extraction, B, leaching, C, adsorption, D, absorption. So the correct answer will be A, solvent extraction. Solvent extraction is a method of separating compounds based on relative solubilities. So the primary objective is to dissolve solvate a target molecule or compound solute in a liquid solvent. So and wash them out of solid plant material. So the solvent will be then be separated from the solute, allowing the solute to be concentrated. That's why our answer is A, solvent extraction. Number 5. Liquid-liquid extraction is based on the difference in A, solubility, B, specific volume, C, partial pressure, and D, viscosity. Our answer would be A, solubility. Because solvent extraction is a method of separating compounds, right, based on its relative solubilities. So this treatment method entails that the use of a solvent, which is a liquid capable of dissolving another substance. Next, on number 6 and 7, since it is calculation, I'll be discussing it in another video. So number 8, a solution of solute A in diluent B is mixed with the solvent S. The component P is slightly soluble in S. The resulting extract will be A, rich in S, poor in B, poor in A. B, rich in S, rich in B, rich in A. C, poor in S, rich in B, poor in A. While D, rich in S, poor in B, and rich in A. So by just basing on the question, we can easily say that the that the S is rich, while B is being poor, or B is poor, and A is also rich. So the correct answer will be D, rich in S, poor in B, and rich in A. Another problem, also problem 15. Number 18, so we'll be continuing in number 18. So heat sensitive material with very high latent heat of vaporization may be economically separated using A, liquid extraction, B, distillation, C, evaporation, D, adsorption. So we will analyze it using what we have learned from our previous lessons. So we can determine that evaporation, distillation, and absorption cannot be economically separated with high latent heat of vaporization, making it impossible in this case. So liquid extraction is mainly used in high latent heat of vaporization. Increasing the temperature increases the solubility of solutes in liquid solvents in general. So the extent to which this occurs, however, may differ dramatically between solutes. So our only answer will be liquid extraction. So number 19, fractional solvent extraction. Employs only one solvent. B, employs two solvents. C, results in low interfacial tension. D, none of these. We already know that fractional solvent extraction is the most powerful separation. So this also incorporates the use of two solvents, which is letter B. Fractional extraction is used for extracting a liquid with another liquid in which two solutes are separated, one in the extract and one in the raffinate, just like what is previously discussed in the videos, like the last discussion. Number 20. It is somewhat related to number 19 since in number 19 we have these choices in the solvent extraction, which is result in low interfacial tension, which means that we don't use low interfacial tension. So 20, the question would be, choose the best combination of properties for a good solvent for extraction of the following. 1, high selectivity. 2, low selectivity. 3, high viscosity. 4, low viscosity. 5, large distribution coefficient. 6, small distribution coefficient. 7, high interfacial tension. 8, low interfacial tension. So the extent to which a method can determine specific analytes in mixtures or matrices without interference from other components is referred to as selectivity. So a good solvent for extraction should have high selectivity. So we already have one. So the viscosity of a fluid is a measure of its resistance to flow. A good solvent should have low viscosity so that it will not stick to the components. So low viscosity, we also have another answer. Next is the distribution coefficient is given as the solute concentration in the organic solvent divided by the solute concentration in the aqueous phase. So, large amount of distribution coefficient indicates that it is a good solvent for extraction. So we have the third answer. So next, the force of attraction between molecules at the interface of two fluids is referred to as interfacial tension. It is needed to have interfacial tension in order for the solutes to become in contact with the solvent. So high interfacial tension. We have the fourth answer. So by looking at our choices, we have 1, 4, 5, and 7 as the correct answer. The selectivity of solvent is used in extraction should be always greater than 1, just like what we have seen in question number 2, where there are no changes when it is 1. So the solvent chosen should have high selectivity, that is, it should dissolve the maximum amount of the solute. So the degree to which a solvent prefers a specific solute is referred to as the selectivity. Number 22. In liquid extraction, if selectivity is unity, then A. Separation of the constituent is most effective. B. No separation will occur. C. Amount of solvent required will be minimum. D. Solvent flow rate should be very low. So there can be no separation if the selectivity is unity. So the solvent should be insoluble in the feed solution. Otherwise, the separation will not be good. So our answer will be B. No separation will occur. 23. When the solvent dissolves very little of the solute, then A. Solvent of low latent heat evaporation should be used. B. Solvent of low freezing point should be used. C. Large quantity of solvent is required to extract the solute. D. Very small quantity of solute is required. So it is obvious that we need larger amount for the solvents. So C would be the correct answer, which is large quantity of solvent is required to extract the solute. Number 24. Which of the following is most suitable for extraction in a system having very low density differences? So looking at the choices, we also had learned what these extractors are. So let me just state it again, what these extractors are. So when gravity separation and the long residence time are possible, so a mixer settler is used. So in nuclear power plants, the pulsed reactor is often used to extract radioactive solvents. So finally, depending on the solubility, packed extraction is used. So we have to use a centrifugal extractor when we have solvents with a lower density because lower density differences, because it enhances the randomness and thus improves mass transfer. Additionally, centrifugal extraction, the action of centrifugal forces causes the material to settle faster. So the correct answer would be, it's obviously B, centrifugal extraction. So the last number for our theory, in extraction, as the temperature increases, the area of heterogeneity or area covered by binodal curve decreases. It will not increase, it will not remain unchanged, it will decrease. It will decrease because the heterogeneity under binodal curve due to the molecules movement as temperature increases. It's because of the movements of the molecules. that will be all for the theory.